Hello everyone and welcome to a new project. This is Torchlight 2, as the name suggests, the sequel to Torchlight. This is a direct sequel, so the story basically continues and we'll get to see just about what that means in a little bit. The character creation has advanced a little since Torchlight 1. We now have a choice of 4 classes. Ember Mage is kind of what the Alchemist used to be like. It's your standard elemental mage, I guess. Berserker is the DPS melee class, I guess. More focused on damage, less so on defense. The Engineer is a more defensive melee class, and the Outlander is your ranged class using bows, pistols, rifles, crossbows, all that kind of stuff. I will play as a Berserker, I think. I'm probably going to go with a male one. We do have some choice for character customization, just not a lot. We have some faces to choose from, some hairstyles to choose from, and some hair colors to choose from. I like this one quite a lot, so I'm just going with it. And I'll use the same character name as I used in the first LP. Okay, how about using calling my pet Sylar? That would be cool. We also have a bunch of additional pet choices in this game. I always quite like the wolf, but there's also a panda, an owl, badger, headcrab, hawk, ferret, papillon, stag, chakawari, whatever that is, a cat, bulldog, panther, and alpaca. I think actually I'll just go with a ferret. I do like me some ferrets. We can change the color. I guess black works, and Sylar is a cool name, so let's go with it. Intro coming up. Actually, not quite. I will play on normal difficulty. If I find it too easy, there are ways to change the difficulty later on in the game anyway. And single player, of course. This game now has a co-op mode, playable both over a local area and internet. We still get useful hints in the loading screens, and I'm still not certain if it's recording them.
Deep beneath Torchlight, a darkness gathered. 3 heroes confronted the beast called Ordrak. Yet even in death, Ordrak's corrupted heart endured and called out.
Okay, that was a little quiet, I think. The problem is that, just like the last game, it suffers slightly from sound imbalances, so it's difficult to get the balance right, basically. Not much to say though, there wasn't much dialogue anyway. The Ordrak, which we killed in the end of Torchlight 1, he was dead, but his heart was still corrupted, and that corrupted heart basically managed to corrupt the Alchemist, who was one of the playable classes in Torchlight 1. And he kind of went nuts. We don't quite know anything else yet. He just came out of the mines and he defeated the Vanquisher and the Destroyer, which were the other two playable classes from the first game. And then he ruined Torchlight. So we're now at a sort of refuge camp outside Torchlight, basically, close to Torchlight, the town from the first game. We do move a lot faster than in the first game, which is really nice. We also have this horse. Just like in the first one, it has lots of interesting stuff, but I'll let you discover that by yourself if you want. Quests are just like you expect from this sort of game.
I think this is as far as I can go. You should carry on to the Asterian Enclave, but you're on your own. Warn them that the Alchemist destroyed Torchlight and is headed their way. He may be there already.
Okay. In general, this game has basically taken, I'd say, all the stuff that was really cool about the first game and improved upon the things that were not so nice. It's a really worthy sequel, so oftentimes these days sequels are kind of lame, but this one really is very good. I like it a lot. I'll get into detail about some of the game mechanics later. It's still pretty much the same kind of gameplay: left click to attack, right click to use skills. In this case I have some AoE skill on my right click called Eviscerate, which just does an AoE thing to all enemies in front of me. The animation is really cool, basically turning to this wolf thing. It uses up mana, energy, whatever you want to call it. I think the game calls it mana. Yep. So let's go and call it that as well. Since we're playing on normal, it doesn't really matter what kind of build I'm playing. Suffice it to say, I am going to ditch Eviscerate, I believe. So I'm going to not spend the skill point yet, and again you'll see why in a bit. And I think I will spec 2 dexterity, 2 strength, 1 vitality for now. Yeah. Vitality is not really that useful of a stat in this game, because I think each point of vitality gives you 5 additional health. So it doesn't... it's not a huge bonus. Just kill these rats. They were also some of the earliest enemies, of course, in the first game when we met them in the mine. This game here has a much more open world approach. 32 damage per second is better than 22. So let's equip that. I'm basically probably going to stick with claw weapons on this character. As you can see, they do no splash damage, but ignore half of enemy armor on regular attacks, which makes them ideal for single target damage, but obviously very bad against groups. Most other types of weapons have a built-in AoE, so even their standard attacks will hit multiple enemies if there's multiple enemies in front of you. Primary target will usually receive the most damage, and secondary targets will receive a little less. And this bar here is my Berserker charge bar. We will probably not see it filled for a while. A flame swallower, very nice. This is what bosses look like in this game. And he dropped a golden key, which is also a recurring feature in the game. But usually they are not dropped by bosses. Again, more on that later. I think I'll just show you what the Berserker charge bar does in a moment. Once it's full. The thing is, the enemies here are really weak, so it's probably not necessary to actually... well, it's not going to be that easy to see what it does, but... Okay, basically, each class has this kind of bar. This slowly fills up as I attack. And when it's fully charged, I enter a frenzy state. As you can see, it currently lasts 6 seconds. In frenzy, all my regular attacks, just the left-click ones, will always hit critical. Whereas my skills have an increased chance of critting, but not a 100% chance. Okay, this looks like more claw weapons. 32, again, better than what I have. Oh wow. And some nice enchanted gear already. Most gear does not need to be identified anymore. So the green stuff here, for example, these are mildly enchanted. They come already pre-identified, and even this blue stuff, which is rare. Yeah, green is enchanted, blue is rare. Blue is better than green. Even they come pre-identified. Some items will not be identified, but again, we'll see that later. And there are passive skills which improve the potency of my frenzy state. Some increase the duration. There are skills, or I'm not certain if I have skills, but there's definitely equipment which increases the rate at which I gather the charge. Think of it as some sort of fury thing. It's kind of similar to an adrenaline kind of mechanic, which is you might know from other games. Also not too different from a mechanic that you found in lots of Final Fantasy games, where if you'd taken damage or done enough damage, you would unlock special attacks, stuff like that. It's kind of similar. You charge it up in combat, and it then gives you a very nice boost for a short time. Later on, if with better equipment, it will have substantially more uptime. Right now it lasts 6 seconds and takes a fair while to actually fully charge up. Okay, firstly I need to deal with these rats here. And this is something that happens from time to time in the game. We just have NPCs standing around being attacked. Shrine of Speed gives us a 2-minute boost to movement speed, cast speed, and attack speed. And this NPC was being attacked. When we kill all the things that attacked him, he basically... that was finishing a quest, so he now has a finished quest for us. We can just choose our reward, and I'll choose the pet tag. And here's the locked golden chest. If you remember, we killed that boss and gained a golden key. Golden keys are used to open locked golden chest, and in my experience, in every area which has a golden chest, there will also be a possibility to gain that golden key. There was a glitch in multiplayer where sometimes it wouldn't work, but I think in single player it should be a sure deal. Okay, some gold, some gems. I'll show you more of that later. Now let's head to the Enclave. And I am well aware I have 2 unspent skill points. As I said, I'll tell you why in a moment. So here's the person we wanted to warn. Eldraine, the Grand Regent.
I thank you for your warning, but it has arrived too late. This alchemist has already come and gone, and it was all I could do to prevent him from entering the Enclave. As it was, many Asterians were injured, and since the confrontation, several more have become ill. We are not sure what is causing it. After his assault failed here, the alchemist carried on southward toward the temple steps. Commander Vale and her vanquishers arrived a short while later and pursued him, hoping to prevent further damage.
I'll choose the Savage Brass Knuckles, of course.
Commander Vale believes that the alchemist might attack the Wellspring Temple in an attempt to reach the Guardian of Water. For what nefarious purpose, I am afraid to speculate. There has been no word from either Vale or the Guardian. Scout the Wellspring Temple and determine if the Guardian of Water is in any danger.
Okay, the great thing about actually LPing this game is I will get to actually experience the storyline properly, because usually my approach is to just accept any quest and then it's going to tell me who to kill. Okay, there's a side quest here which we'll also take.
What's your business here?
If you're going out to the temple steps, I could use your help. The Stormbeorn have set up a makeshift smithy there, and they have 2 blacksmiths making suits of armor for wild warbeasts they've captured. Those Stormbeorn seem to be working from schematics, but they keep them under lock and key. Do you think you might be able to get in there and grab the armor schematics? As a reward, we get one of these things. Set pieces are a lot more common in this game than they were in Torchlight 1.
You have a new quest.
Okay, I could start fishing here, but I won't. Let me see. I do have my character stash, which is now split between general equipment, consumables, and spells. My pet also has that split inventory. And I also have a shared stash. Let me just see. I think most of the stuff I've got in here is for really high levels anyway. Wow, level 98. It's been a while. So, don't worry too much about me using stuff from other characters. Level 17. Wow, that might actually be useful. But yeah, most of these I will not be able to use anytime soon. I am somewhat contemplating whether I should use one of my giant fish to turn my pet into a different kind of pet permanently. And I don't think I actually stored any spells, so I'll be playing mostly self-found, I guess. Now let's see. This can go away. I'm not going to use wands or staffs. I might just keep these. Okay, and just for the hell of it, I'm going to put +8 ice armor onto my boots. And I'm giving this varmint stop to my pet, which now deals +4 physical damage. Pets do no longer use the same kind of jewelry as I do. They now have their own types of jewelry. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything there is to say. No, there's still one more thing I need to show. There's a skill respec NPC now.
Yes.
However, I may only reclaim the last 3 skill points I have invested. Which means I could have put points into anything right now, it wouldn't have mattered. I would still have been able to undo the eviscerate. But I'm going to remove the skill point into eviscerate, because I don't actually think I want to use that skill very much. For now I'm going to spec mostly passives. Howl will be the first active skill I think I'll really put points into, and then raise later on. Maybe Ravage, I'm not entirely certain yet, but I'll definitely put 1 point in Blood Hunger, which means that each of my critical strikes heals me for 5% of my maximum health, which is of course especially good when my charge bar is filled, because then each of my hits is a critical hit, so they all heal me for that much. Speccing more than 1 point isn't quite useful, because as you see, The first point gave me 5% healing, the next point will only give me 10% of that, so 0.5%. Which basically means speccing 1 point is good. You would need to spec an additional 10 points to double the healing. And Cold Steel Mastery was really good, but I'm not at a point where I'm really gunning for that. So I'll put my remaining points into Frenzy Mastery. Basically each point gives me half a second longer of Frenzy. Which doesn't sound like much, but it's actually quite strong. Okay, so that should be it. The fishing system I'll just show you quickly. Works exactly like it did in Torchlight 1. We wait for the rings to collide, and then we get a fish. A jackal bass, in this case. I will not be doing fishing in town, at least not on camera. Fishing holes outside of town work a little differently. They have limited uses, so I'll always be using those. And now I think that's pretty much it for the first episode. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.